This video is for educational purposes only and does not replace official training, local protocols, or medical advice. Always follow your specific agency guidelines and medical control. Sodium bicarbonate, commonly known as baking soda, is a simple chemical compound, NaHCO3, that acts as a powerful buffer in the human body. In a medical context, it is used to neutralize acid and restore the body's natural pH balance. How it works, the mechanism of action. To understand sodium bicarbonate, you have to understand pH. The body's blood is meant to stay slightly alkaline, basic, at a pH of about 7.4. If the body's blood becomes too acidic, a condition called acidosis, the body's cells stop working properly, and the heart and brain can struggle to function. Sodium bicarbonate acts as a chemical sponge for acid. 1. Neutralization. When introduced into the bloodstream, the bicarbonate ion reacts with excess hydrogen ions, which are what make things acidic. 2. Conversion. It turns those dangerous hydrogen ions into water, H2O, and carbon dioxide, CO2. 3. Exhalation. A person breathes out the extra CO2, effectively removing the acidity from the system. Use in emergency cardiology. In cardiac emergencies, such as cardiac arrest, the body stops moving oxygen to the tissues. When cells don't get oxygen, they switch to a backup method of making energy that produces huge amounts of lactic acid, correcting acidosis. During prolonged cardiac arrest, the blood becomes extremely acidic. This acid prevents heart muscle cells from responding to medications, like epinephrine, and prevents the heart from beating effectively. Restoring function. Giving sodium bicarbonate raises the pH of the blood, which can make the heart more responsive to life-saving drugs and electrical shocks from a defibrillator. Note: clinicians are more selective about using it now than they used to be, as too much bicarbonate can cause other problems, but it remains a tool for specific, severe cases. Used as an antidote, sodium bicarbonate is an incredibly clever tool for treating certain types of poisonings or drug overdoses. Its use here depends on the specific chemical properties of the drug involved. Tricyclic antidepressant, TCA, overdose. If someone overdoses on these older antidepressants, the drugs can cause a fatal heart rhythm disruption. Sodium bicarbonate helps by raising the blood's pH and providing more sodium, which stabilizes the heart's electrical pathways and helps push the drug off the heart's receptors. Salicylate, aspirin, toxicity. When someone takes too much aspirin, the body becomes acidic, and the aspirin enters the brain cells, causing damage. By giving sodium bicarbonate, clinicians make the blood and urine more alkaline. This traps the aspirin in the blood and forces the kidneys to dump it out into the urine much faster, preventing it from reaching the brain. Let's break it down. The situation: cardiac arrest. The problem: severe metabolic acidosis. The goal: improve heart response to drugs and/or shocks. The situation: TCA overdose. The problem: heart electrical instability. The goal: stabilize heart rhythm. The situation: aspirin poisoning. The problem: acid buildup in tissues in the brain. The goal: excrete the toxin through kidneys. It is fascinating how a substance we use to bake cookies can be used by clinicians to literally change the chemistry of a person's blood to save their life. To understand how the kidneys help clear toxins using sodium bicarbonate, we have to look at a concept called ion trapping. Normally, the kidneys filter the blood and decide what to keep, like water and nutrients, and what to pee out, like waste. Whether a substance is filtered out depends on its electrical charge. The mechanism of ion trapping. When a person has taken too much aspirin, salicylate, the goal is to make sure the aspirin stays in the bloodstream and moves into the urine, where it can be safely excreted. 1. Changing the environment. By giving sodium bicarbonate, the blood and the fluid inside the kidney's filtering units, the renal tubules, become alkaline, less acidic. 2. The chemical shift. Aspirin is a weak acid. In an acidic environment, it stays in a neutral form that can easily slip back out of the kidney's urine pipes and back into the blood, which is bad, we want it out. 3. The trap. When we make the urine alkaline with bicarbonate, the aspirin molecule loses a hydrogen ion and becomes ionized. It gains an electrical charge. 4. Excretion. Once the aspirin is ionized, charged, it is like a person trying to walk through a wall. It physically cannot cross back through the cell membranes of the kidney tubes. It gets trapped in the urine and is forced out of the body. Why the kidneys are the key? The kidneys are essentially a high-tech filtration system. They are constantly adjusting the pH of the urine to keep the internal chemistry stable. The blood/urine barrier, think of the kidney cells as a security gate. They only let certain molecules pass back into the blood. Bicarbonate's role: by changing the rules at the gate pH, we can effectively trick the kidneys into dumping substances they would normally try to hold on to. This is why, in cases of salicylate poisoning, clinicians don't just give one dose, they often infuse sodium bicarbonate into the veins continuously, keeping the urine pH high, usually above 7.5, until the blood levels of the drug drop to a safe range.